Hey, my name is Anna, and since it's December I was planning to read some Christmas books before Christmas, and I have 4 books I'm planning to read. No, I'm actually planning to read 5 books. I'm planning to read 5 books before Christmas now, and now I'm gonna do my picks and tell you what I'm planning on. The first one is An Unwanted Christmas Present by Sara Molin, and this one I actually won very recently and actually published this year. It's actually gonna be the first book is published this year that I'm gonna read. It's crazy, I know. And all I know is that she lives in Tanzania normally, and she reluctantly goes home for Christmas. I think it's gonna be fun. And next up, I'm planning on reading The Secret of Happy Ever After by Lucy Dillon. This one is actually a Christmas book, which is not reflected, and I actually didn't know it was a Christmas book until I was searching for Christmas books, and I found a list where this book was added with a new Christmas cover. And then I realized I actually own this book already. So I'm gonna plan reading it. And I have read one book by her before, and I think it's kind of evolving around the same spot but different people. It's a lot of dogs, which I liked in the first part, but a bit of the problem with the first book that if your dogs is kind of the main reason why you like it, you have a big problem with your characters, I would say. But it was decent, and I do think that if it was kind of, I'm a bit older, but I'm only 26, and so I'm not super old, and it was a bit like older woman problems, kind of dealing with it. I don't think 2 of them were especially old, but it was not so many things I could relate to on my own, since like I'm still a student, which made it a bit worse, I think, for me personally. So maybe it's more about me than the book. So I really want to see how this book is, and maybe, because I know it doesn't follow the same people, so maybe this one will be even better. You will see. Then I will read An Island Christmas by Colgan. This one I actually have ordered, and it's on its way. Okay, not even on its way. They're very slow, but it will come hopefully before Christmas. I really hope so. But she's one of my favorite authors of all time, because I really like her settings. Like seriously, when I read them, I'm like, okay, I can live on an island in the middle of Atlantic with no Wi-Fi and no real internet and actually anything. I would be fine. It sounds amazing. And have no stuff. I'm a hoarder. I play a lot of computer games, so I need internet. But if she can make me like consider moving to a secluded island, like come on, she writes it so well. So I have read 6 books by her before. I've given 5 of them 5 stars. Like seriously, I love her writing. And one I gave 4 stars. So I'm pretty sure I'm gonna really love this book. And finally, I have decided to read 2 books I have an ebook. The first one is Christmas Main Street by Leanna Morgan. I don't know anything about this one, and the next one is Christmas Nights by G.H. Croix, if maybe it's pronounced. And it's set in Alaska. And I think the first one is set in a small town, and it's around Christmas. I think it's gonna be fine. So let's see how it goes. Today I'm gonna wrap up my Christmas reads. So let's start. The first one I have is An Unwanted Christmas Present by Sara Molin. It's a Swedish book that actually just came out this year, and it's a feel-good set in during Christmas. It's basically this girl who is a nurse, and she decided to, not really decided to, She felt kind of forced to come home for Christmas, and she will stay for 2 months because of her mom. She'll also work at the local hospital in the meantime. And I actually really enjoyed this book. For me, a feel-good book should kind of have four things, which is a hint of darkness. It should be funny, it should have some character development, and it should be a hint of romance. And like, all criteria was really fulfilled for me in this one. Like, I had a very nice time. I think that the Christmas part was very good, well done, actually. It was like talking about Christmas, what does it mean, and you really got Christmas feelings in this one. Like, hats off, really well done. And I had a super great time reading it. It was 5-star for me. I had a super great time, and I felt like this one I think is her second novel, so I'm really excited to read her debut. That isn't a Christmas novel, but I feel good still. I think that's gonna be amazing. We have a lot of good, feel-good authors in Sweden. It's a very popular genre here. Next up we have, I think it's my 7, Jenny Colgan. I think I mentioned it before, but this one is also like a feel-good Christmas novel. And like I said, Jenny Colgan is my weak point, and so I give this one 5 stars as well. Even if I'm a bit like, did she really deserve it in this way? Because I like, when I try to look critically about it, I can feel like, yeah, it wasn't 100, like whatever they're doing. Like, they had some annoying behaviors, the characters, and I thought that the main character got a bit too little time in the book. It felt like her only problem was kind of one thing, and that took up the entire book, and you didn't get to see more from her. But I still read this in one sitting, and I couldn't put it down. Like I said, she's my weakness, what can I say? So this was a 5-star for me. Probably not super deserved this time. Well, I don't know, but like Jenny Colgan, when she writes these books that are set like in this like English or Scottish settings, or in this case like some Scottish island kind of thing, I love it. What can I say? I'm a weak person. At least for Jenny Colgan. And I would say Christmas, there was Christmas in it, but I wouldn't say it was a super well done Christmas. I think that she could have done it better. If I should be honest, I think she could have done it a lot better than she did. But still a 5-star for me. And then we have The Secret of Happily Ever After by Lucy Dillon. And I looked around, and this one is like the third in a series, but it doesn't even say it on Goodreads it is a series. But I recognized some people from other book I read, and this one was like, oh, they are very much connected. But you can read this one as a standalone, no problem. And they are very similar in a lot of ways, these books. But the other one I gave 3 stars, I give this one 5 stars. I did not see that one coming, to be honest. I was a bit like, do I even want to read this one? Because I was like, 3 stars doesn't... 3 stars is kind of low for feel-good for me. But I was surprised. I gave it to her. I was very surprised. But when I think about, because like some of the things I didn't like about her first book in the series was it was like, I felt too young, kind of, for her characters, and it was kind of the same thing in this one. It was a bit like older women problems, but I still ended up really loving this one. And I think that some difference was that I liked the main characters. It was only 2 this time, which I think was very good in compared to 3. And they were friends. They were not really close friends in the first book, and I think this works a lot better. Plus, I think that especially the main character kind of the chemistry in the last one, I wasn't a super fan of her, if I should be honest, while I was a fan of both of these characters. But I also feel like it's a bit cheating because they also took a lot of books. In this one, it was a lot about books, and I have a very big weakness for books about books. So of course I really liked that thing in this book. It was also some dogs, but not as much dogs in the first one, which I didn't have a problem with. But as a Christmas novel, because this one felt like they tried to, at least in Sweden, Christmas novels are very popular. And it felt like they tried to rebrand this one as a Christmas novel. To be like, oh, look, this is Christmas now. Look at this new shiny cover. You can totally buy this one for Christmas. It's not really a Christmas novel. Like, part of the books starts at Christmas and it kind of ends at Christmas. But then it's an entire year in between. So it's not really a Christmas novel, like it is Christmas in it, but it's not really a Christmas novel. That felt like a very much of a cash grab from the publishers, like, oh, let's rebrand this book and make it a more Christmassy cover. Nah, did not work for me. As like a feel-good romance, I would say it's 5-star for me. As a Christmas novel, 1. Did not work as a Christmas novel at all. But if you like feel-good books, I definitely recommend to pick this one up. I don't think you will be disappointed. And then we have 2 ebooks I read. We have Christmas Night by E.H. Croix, which is set in a small town in Alaska. And the guy is a firefighter and she's a teacher. I was not a super fan of this book. First, I would say it was more on the boring side. It wasn't much going on. And the chemistry was not super good. It's like, I feel like in the end it was a decent read. Like, I gave it a weak 3 stars. But that's about it. It was mediocre. And the biggest issue I had with this book was definitely that it wasn't a Christmas novel, like, at all. Like, again, this trying to like brand something for Christmas, and that annoys me, but it probably worked. So look at this on Goodreads, and this one is a 6 in a series, and I think that this one has like the most ratings of the entire series. That says something. So basically, the first time Christmas was mentioned was 30% in, and it was mentioned again once 50% in. And then, when they already have gotten together in the last chapter, they spent Christmas together in like 5 pages. That is not a Christmas novel, okay? You cannot just slap Christmas nights and then like there's no Christmas in there. In the last chapter does not count, okay? I was like, at least I think I checked like the title like 5 times. Like, did I misread this? How bad is my English? No, it is Christmas nights, but no Christmas really in it. Like, as a Christmas novel, 0. No Christmas feelings, no like this Christmas thing going on, none. Like, if I would recommend this book, I would say if you're really into like small town romance in an Alaskan setting with a firefighter, like, knock yourself out. I'm not gonna stop you, but like, I feel like as a Christmas novel or as like a romance novel, I feel like you can pass it. Nothing special, not that interesting. And then finally we have Christmas on Main Street by Leanna Morgan. This one was also a disappointment, unfortunately. Like, it was kind of, the synopsis kind of said like feel good Christmas small town romance book, and as a feel good novel, I would say it was kind of bad. I didn't really get the mix I wanted from a feel-good novel. And as a romance, I would say it was an even bigger fail, actually. Like, the main girl had kids, and it felt like it's a raw, like the entire like romance evolved super much around the kids, and I didn't get it. Because basically, like, in the beginning, we got this like, okay, boy asks girl out on date, and then next chapter, oh, they already been like a week, and they spend super much time together. And I'm like, what? What about the dates? What about the first date? What does she feel? What does he feel? Now they has gone on super much dates already? Like, what? Like, why would you skip all of that? And it felt like it was so much around the kids, because it felt like he became their dad super quickly. Like, even before they were a couple, they were like, I want two dads. And I'm like they're not even officially a couple, and the kids are already wanting to call him dad. Like, maybe you shouldn't introduce people into your like kids' life before you like have like met them for a bit longer period of time. If you're like a parent and you're gonna date someone, it might not work out, you know. But no, let the kids be more attached to him than you are. It was a bit weird. Like, not my cup of tea. Like, I usually don't mind that like someone has kids in a romance, but like this felt super much evolving around the kids more than the couple. Not my thing. If that's your thing, I recommend this novel. Otherwise, I think you can skip it. Even if I would say the Christmas part was better than the last ebook, where it had like zero Christmas, this one actually had this Christmas theme, but it was September, and it was like, oh, let's start Christmas in September and have these events until Christmas. So like the Christmas feel was decent, I would say. And I guess like the kind of the thought of this series is like that next couple is even closer to Christmas and still around this like events in this small town. And so like for me, this was a 3-star okay read. I wouldn't like, it was an okay passing time with, but not that great. And like I said, the romance, not my thing. So, but overall I would say it was pretty good. Christmas, even if I would say that the Christmas spirit was kind of weak overall in these 5 books. Only the first one I would say that like really hit it home, an unwanted Christmas present. The other ones I would say the Christmas was kind of weak. But I did get 3 5-star novels. That's kind of amazing. So I'm pretty happy overall. Okay, see ya.